Alright, so continuing. I don't know why it's so high quality, but yeah. I'm not in the best of shape right now physically, but you know, yeah. Anyway. We were at a guy jumping over the fence. Okay, so during the night, a guy jumped over the fence, over the wall actually, in front of the house, down at the bottom of the stairs. I saw him do it, and immediately started shooting arrows at him. And he hid behind my boat and went around to the front of the boat and was trying to come out and throw rocks every once in a while. So, because he was on the property, I shot arrows directly at him, aimed for his head, aimed for his torso when he was below the boat. I believe that when he was ducked below the boat, he didn't realize that he was exposed, and I hit him. Or he got tangled up in the concertina wire trying to come up and look, but I think it's more likely that I hit him, based on circumstances at present, especially. The fact that we're being followed. So things stopped all of a sudden. Everybody from the other side of the property ran back over to the Cantamar side, apparently to rescue this guy. I heard screaming and stuff, but I was preoccupied with people that were still throwing rocks on the other side, so I was shooting arrows that direction or whatever. Everything stops. They move over to the Cantamar side. And then after about 20 minutes or so, you weren't there, Zach, but about 20 minutes or so, I see someone coming over there again, and I shoot arrows again, and then I see him light a lighter. And okay, so I shot another arrow at him again, and he puts some brush and lights it inside my boat. Now my boat's a 23-foot fiberglass carpeted biking American speedboat with a 55-gallon tank with about 20 gallons of fuel in it, and it's sitting next to a bunch of oil outside of, and instead of in the oil storage container, which is on the property next door. So my worst case scenario is, the situation traps me in the house. I cannot get out of the house, so I barred myself in the bathroom and waited for the house to explode, and thought I was going to die. I thought the worst, and unfortunately it didn't happen. So the fire truck came. Obviously everything stopped. Daylight erupts, and there's like quote unquote peace. And then after a couple of hours in the middle of the day when else is settling down, we make our 911 calls, call the State Department, figure all this all shit out, and state police show up next door at Pedro's place, Cantamar. And I recognize the officer as Comandante Camacho, who was the privately hired state police who removed me from Pedro's. Pedro had me removed from his marina illegally, where I also had, by the way, legal domicile, squatter's rights, if you will. I actually had more right to the place than anybody else because no one else stayed there every night for 4 years as I did. No one stayed there. I was the only person there at night every night. Mine. Anyway, so. We see the state police over there, and an hour or two later, Zach was back on shore with me, and we see the police over there. And I'm thinking, yeah, we should get you on the boat probably. We're trying to figure this all out, and then it's just too late. They enter the property, and
I saw him start.
Yeah, we saw him start cutting the fence. So we got video, and we saw them. The state police were privately hired to protect private persons to invade my property, attack me, try to kill me, burn me out, and then steal my land and everything I own. That is a fact. Everything I did was legal, perfectly legal. So we're being attacked by state police. We're trying to enter the property. I have a video you'll see of them themselves trying to enter the property and myself fighting back. And I apologize for any of the language I use or the words that I use. I'm a little bit paranoid, I'm a bit scared. I'm a lot scared. I'm very fucking tired, fatigued, haven't eaten, and yeah, and I have to use my anger, and my anger right now is at these people that are doing these things to me, and they just so happen to be Jewish, but you know, you'll see, there's context here. So the State Department calls me and tells me that I need to stop shooting arrows at police officers. And I tell the State Department, no, I do not need to stop shooting arrows at police officers. They are not here legally. They are hired privately and are trying to kill me. And he says, yes, but his supervisor now has been aware. This is the phone call I had with Cody, the head of security. I don't remember his last name. Cody, the head of security for the U.S. consulate in Tijuana, the whole peninsula, telling me that the supervisor didn't know he had 2 cars out there. So Cody himself is evidence. And the recorded conversation we have with the U.S. State Department is evidence of the culpability of the U.S. State Department in sending me to jail wrongfully and having everything I own stolen. So whether it was intentional, I don't know. But anyway, he told me, and also evidence. He also evidences, especially, is what I meant to say, is evidences that the police were not supposed to be there, that they were privately hired. So a supervisor gets hold of this idea and says, okay, we got to de-escalate this, figure this out somehow, because at some point, one of the officers apparently stepped in front of my arrows that I was shooting only at the private people that were on the shore, on the boat. They are practice arrows. It bounced off his whatever he had on. I mean, it would have bounced off his t-shirt probably, his practice arrows. I was not intending to kill anyone, just fucking get off my fucking property. So they escalated. They call me, and the State Department says, "Hey, you're shooting arrows at police officers. You can't do that. You got to de-escalate and all that stuff." And so apparently supervisors show up. So I'm like, "Okay, well, what do I do?" I mean, I'm sitting here. We're talking with Zach. We were already talking about giving up because just fucking overwhelmed. I mean, I am fucking beat. They are just fucking beating the shit. I mean, shooting rubber bullets at us now after the fucking shooting the windows out with rubber bullets. Fucking assholes. Goddamn. So the State Department says, yeah, this is a legitimate police officer. I say, no, the state police have no jurisdiction. He says, yes, they do. It's state, blah, 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 blah. So, okay, I'm like, well, this is the U.S. State Department telling me this, so maybe I should just go ahead and give up. And stupidly, I did. I should have waited for the National Guard or some other federal authorities because these people actually were all not legitimate. And the entirety of the Ministerio Público, which is the state police's thing, worked against me. They detained me illegally so that they could steal everything off the property. They stole my boat off the property. Pedro's sitting there yelling, "I'm stealing your boat!" And they steal my boat. They steal everything off my boat. They drug it out. They were on it for several minutes. They found Zach's belongings in his backpack and had it there, but they didn't give it to him. With all of his documents, his passport, his cash, fucking everything, birth certificate, social security card, everything. But at least he got to see that they exist. Mine are on the boat, wherever the boat is. We don't know where the boat is. Along with $6,000 cash, $6,000 US cash, 6,000 US equivalent cash Mexican. My only savings, because State Department also cut off my disability by Federal Benefits Unit not submitting documents they were supposed to submit, and then not communicating to me things they were supposed to communicate until after my benefits had been cut, literally. So the U.S. State Department obviously has been culpable in this. I do believe it's intentional. I have believed that since I first came here and discovered these things and tried to report them to the State Department, and they looked at me like, yeah, you're crazy. And despite my evidence, and especially when we spoke to the 3 people from the State Department, well, 2 of them from the State Department. The one guy who didn't say much with the beard was obviously CIA. So I guess I warrant that kind of attention. Why am I still wearing glasses? Anyway, oh, that's why, because I can't see my face. So anyway, where am I? Oh yeah, so we give ourselves up and we get detained illegally, of course, because they were charging it. Now let me state something real quick, real. Fuck you, Cody, you motherfucking asshole! You fucking killed me. He said that I was not going to be. He didn't say I was going to be detained. He said that they were going to, temporarily detain me so we could sort this all out. Which down on the property was my thinking, and we're going to negotiate and figure this out. That hey, these guys don't actually have the documents. Let me tell my side of the story. No, I get arrested, thrown in jail. I'm not allowed to tell my story. I'm not allowed to talk to a lawyer except for the first night before we even go in jail, and only briefly.
Who
and
suspiciously vanishes.
Yeah, well, I'll get to that. So I talk to the lawyer the night before we go in, and that's it. The only other thing I do is the consulate calls, asks us if we've gotten a piece of paper to sign. We say no. Tell them we haven't been fed, given water, or our phone call. And that's it. We're in there for 30 or 60 hours, and it's only supposed to be 48. And then we have a hearing where it's to determine if our detention was legal. And all of a sudden, we have a different lawyer. who we've never spoken with. We have not told our story. We have not told what I wanted to tell my lawyer. I demanded to see my lawyer several times to tell him that we are being charged with the crimes that they committed against us. We want to charge them now. And this lawyer doesn't talk to us, doesn't say anything. And this female judge, on a Sunday, where'd she find her, rules that while our detention is illegal, our rights were not violated. And the investigation can continue. But the good news is they produced documents in the court which stated that the state police were not there until 15 minutes before we were arrested. I have video of them there 2 to 3 hours before attacking us, trying to enter my property by physical force, threatening me with a pistol, hitting at me with a baton, and later shooting rubber bullets at us with shotguns. None of that is legal. None of it is documented that they actually did it, because none of it was supposed to have been done, because they were hired privately to do so by Pedro Alberto Basua Aguilar, owner of Cantamar and Buceo de Servicios BCS, and also Socorro Aggressor, which is run by an American corporation, by the way, which is also now culpable in this, and so is TripAdvisor. So, yeah, there's a lot of shit going down. What now?
Over specific details they put in the case that are.
Oh yeah, the one specific, this. Go ahead.
Just say they claim that they used the gate next door.
Oh yeah, all the shit they claim. They claim that they discovered us on the property on the, their own claims are what fouled it up. But they claim they're doing business. And we have documentation going back to 2015 that they didn't.
You say they went through the fence, the gate.
Yeah, they said they went through the gate, and we have them video cutting through the fucking fence, which is, illegal. It's illegal entry. All this document. Oh, and by the way, my possession of the property, absolutely 100% perfectly legal many times over. And they're trying to come and take it, and actually doing so 100% actually illegal. And Pedro did it to me twice now, because he's the one that hired the state police for his friend, that the owner of Marina de Palmira in La Paz, by the way, is the person who claims this property, whose claim is through the purchase of a business name of a business that never existed or operated, as is documented by API, sin presión. We have the paperwork. We do have it online, but it was also on my computer, which is gone. Everything I own is gone. My life is gone. I'm a different person now. A lot of people need to fucking be afraid of me now, because the people that took advantage of me before are not doing it more. Anyway, back to the facts. So we got out of court, or jail, 60 hours after, instead of 48. Our rights trashed all over the place. And with court documents that said the state police weren't there when they were supposed to be, or when they actually were. So we got evidence, and now I got a video proving it. So we got a video of me being really violent towards police, which people are going to take out of context. He's attacking police. They're doing their job. No, actually, they're privately hired, uniformed assholes, thugs, wearing the uniforms of state police, doing an illegal act. And I am in the legal right defending myself against them. And I am so fucking proud of myself, because I've never stood up to anybody in my life, except in 5th grade when I stood with a bully and hit him in the face, broke his nipple. That's the only ever time I stepped up and physically stood up for myself. Until that video you're going to see, or have already seen. Proud of myself, but I'm still scared. So we get out of jail, and I notice people following us. So we skedaddle, get the taxi, and we come downtown. And we're walking around downtown, getting what we need, and food, water, which we hadn't been given in the jail at all. They did not feed us at all for 60 hours. And we hadn't eaten for 14 or almost 24 prior to that. That's a testament to my diet. We ate pure meat, and we survived 5 days without food because of it. Where am I? Yeah, so we're downtown getting stuff, and we noticed a guy following us, a Nissan Sentra, don't know the plates, a yellow shirt. Looked kind of like someone that worked at Marina Palmira, actually, now that I think about it. And he's looking at us, and he turns the corner towards us, and just like, because we're walking the opposite direction, he turns the corner like he's going to turn around and follow us. So we stop and look, and sure enough, he turns the corner like he's going to follow us. So we ditch, run where we can, try and escape, and there he is again. Do it again, there he is again. Do it again, there he is again. Half an hour.
We went to that parking lot.
Yes.
And when we walked out, they turned
Yeah, we had walked into a parking lot and hid, and he was still there, still driving around. So he was driving around looking for us, trying to figure out where we were, obviously following us. So we stopped in a place where we could hide and nobody could see us, and it was shady and it was comfortable. There was people around, and we called the police. And unfortunately, I told them where I am right now. And the colors in the video giving it away, but you know. But so we presently do not believe we are safe, especially with the video evidence I have and the fact that I've put it online and put it out there, and people can now watch it and have been. Within half an hour of it being uploaded, there was 4 views on it recorded, which means there's at least more than that because they only show up about 15 minutes later. So, yeah. So I'm scared for my life. I'm scared for Zach. Let me reset this. I am a bit of a genius, so I can improvise things. So you can see I'm bracing the door with a piece of metal I found in the truck outside. We had a plan for escape. Someone wanted to be kidnapped in a scenario, and we were going to take advantage of it and actually kidnap him. But we didn't want to do it, so anyway. So we're stuck here in the hotel. We're holed up. We're going to try and get out in the morning and get stuff, but I don't think it's safe, so I think we're going to probably have someone deliver it for us. And we're in a hotel where we can cook. So we're going to cook about 1.5 kilos, 2.5 kilos, I think, of meat. Find a way to store it so we can have it the rest of the day or for another day, and try and get the fuck out of here. I am not going to say where we're going to go or if we're going to leave. I am only going to say that we're not going to be found ever. Because of this video and because of the fact that it can be grossly taken out of context, and I can be accused of being a terrorist especially if they go in and read and edit the court documents and whatnot. And so as a result of that, and because they could just publish this as out of context in Mexican media and say I'm a terrorist and they're looking for me, so I need to change my appearance and disappear. This is the last time you're seeing me as I look, and the first time you're seeing me as I now am. I'm not the same person. I have lost everything. They took my life from me, so I have to become a different person. I'm scared. I'm scared for Zach. He's going to be safe. I'm not going to say how, but he's going to be safe. He may be with me. He may be separate. He may be up in the States. He may be somewhere else. But as it stands, we're going to be scarce until we can figure out if this is going to come back our way, if they're going to turn it around and actually get us our shit back and allow me to have the property, or not the property, but something so I can fix my boat somewhere and get the fuck out of Mexico safely on my boat. But otherwise, we have already talked about this. We cried a lot. What tears we had in jail as we were talking about what we could do and what we couldn't do, and this was the scenario I expected. And so we talked about we may just walk ourselves to a place we're not going to tell you about because we're going to disappear from everything forever. So if I don't succeed in surviving or getting this turned around and this guy put in jail and these other people, Neil, Max Schroyer, owners of all the businesses in town, put in jail for their crimes, especially against innocent American tourists seeking refuge in the country they have no respect for because they run it like it's their own. Then I'm just gonna live my life and I'll rebuild it from scratch. I built what I have from scratch. I can do it again. I have a skill. I can make ferro cement, and I can turn that around. I can go down somewhere or out somewhere, some island, some deserted place, some place that does boats that nobody knows about, or that a few people go to, or that a lot of people go to that nobody would care to find me. I'll have different appearance, absolutely different appearance, and facial prosthetics, possibly, plastic surgery. I can do surgery, and probably do some plastic surgery or whatever. I'll just disappear and nobody will find me, or I'll just never be public again and live off the land. So figure things out, or just stay that way. I still have plans I want to sail. I still have plans I want to get off this planet, but it's got to wait. So anyway, take a look at these videos. Read this www.disperser.info. You also /documents, also /blog, and check it out. fucking huge.